What is the biggest key to success? I think I found out what it is. And let me tell you, if you don't have this, most likely you're never going to be successful. Or you might just get a little lucky sometimes and have some success, but you're not going to have continued success. But don't worry, in this video I'm going to explain not only what this is, this key element is, but I'm going to give you ways so you can improve yours and work on yours so you can be successful. And I'm talking about really successful, where generational wealth type successful, okay? And that's what I'm going to show you about today. Before we do, if you enjoy my videos, go ahead and click the subscribe button below, click on the notifications bell, and you'll be the first one notified when I put out a new video that's going to help you generate more sales, bring home more commissions, bring home more money to your family and loved ones so you can spend more time doing the things you want to do and things, not the things you have to do. So what is this key element that I said you really, really need to work on and really need to have control of if you want to be successful? That's the state you're in. What? The state you're in. That doesn't make sense. What? I'm in Nevada, you're in California, you're in Maryland, you're in Virginia, you're in Texas, you're in Arizona. That's not the kind of state I'm talking about. I'm talking about the state of your being. It's kind of like some people call your mindset or your feeling, whatever. So it's more than feeling, the state of being that you're in. So say for instance, you're driving down the car, you're thinking about work, or you're thinking about your family, and you got some pressure building on you, and you're in traffic and you're not really happy, and maybe your car's not running really well, or it needs gas and you have money for gas, and then all of a sudden your favorite song comes on the radio and you turn it up and you start singing a little bit and you're kind of moving along with the music, and before you know it, 3 minutes over, the song's over and you're feeling pretty good now, right? Like, all right, I feel good. You know, 3.5 minutes ago you were worried about work, the pressure, your family, your car not running, being in traffic. What happened? So you were in a different state that 3.5 minutes ago. That state of your being, all your thinking, your feeling, that's what your state is. When you hear that song, it starts making you in a good mood. You start moving a little bit, your blood starts flowing, you start dancing a little bit, you're singing, and you're not worried about all the other stuff at this moment because you're in a good state. Then after a few minutes, all those other worries start coming back and you're out of that state, right? So what if I could show you there's ways that you can control that state so you're in that good state almost all day long? That's what this video is about today. Another way to change your state, right? Think about after a hard day of work, you've worked hard, you're working with your clients, and maybe things didn't go well, and you're like, I'm so tired. You just sit down in front of the TV and start watching YouTube videos or Netflix or whatever, right? Just a comedy or whatever, and you just zone out, right? So that changes your state. You could change your state with drugs, you know? You can smoke marijuana or have a cocktail, right? How many times you said that, I could use a drink right now, right? You've had a hard day, you're negotiating contracts and things didn't work out, like, I could use a drink right now. That's a good way to change. I'm sorry, that's not a good way. That is an effective way that quickly changes your state. Same thing with a meal, right? You've had a hard day, you sit down, have a big meal, right? Oh, it feels so good. It changes your state. So you went from being empty and hollow and worried, and now you're like, you're full, and that changes your state, right? A cookie, a piece of cake, some candy, that'll change your state. It's usually temporary, probably not good for you, but that's a way to change your state. So there's good ways to change your state that are good for you and put you in the right state of being, and then there's bad ways. So most people know about the bad ways because that's what we've been conditioned, that's how we've been raised. Think about it. You know, you're not feeling good, your parent or guardian, whoever, like, here, have some cake, or here, have a cookie, and oh yeah, you feel good, right? That changes your state. So that's what we think. But there's better ways to do it. They're not easy, but they're more effective, and if you want to be successful, you need to be in the right state. Think about it. Have you ever competed in something, and before the competition you psych yourself up? Say you've got like a 5K race to do, right? And you're like, all right, I'm gonna run this race, I'm training hard, I'm gonna do well. I know by the 4th K, my lungs are gonna be burning, my legs are gonna be screaming, and my whole body's gonna be saying stop. But you're like, no, I'm gonna push through it because I wanna be a winner, right? So that's psyching yourself, I'm feeling it already. You're getting yourself in the right state, you're pumped up. So that's one way of doing it. It's called getting yourself pumped up. That's a very beginner's way of working on your state. But think about if you could improve your state, so you could get yourself psyched up like that. for a listing appointment. Instead of going to a listing appointment all nervous and scared, what if you got your state up? Let me tell you, if two people are negotiating or trying to do a sale or something like that, the person who's in the better state is most likely going to come out ahead every single time. That's how important this is to you. Relationships, you go into a relationship. If you're in a good state, you're bringing that good state into that, you're gonna have a much better chance of creating a good relationship instead of a weak relationship or a relationship that's in trouble. Same thing, relationship with your family and your kids or whatever, think about that. Have you ever been in a bad mood and you come home and when your kids comes and when they're little and they give you a hug and it just changes your whole state, right? Everything, you forget about everything, you come in a better state. So if you could work on controlling your state, don't you think that would be better? If you could, your life would be better, your business would be better, your health would be better. If you could get yourself, before you leave the room to go into the kitchen, if you got yourself in the right state, like I'm gonna eat healthy food. This food is gonna make positive changes in my life. Get me in a healthier thing so I have more energy, so I can be more vibrant, so I can spend more time with my family and loved ones in a better state. Then it's like, I really need to, get some food in me so I can feel better. There's gonna be two different outcomes there depending on the state you're in. So changing your state is not just about business. It's not just about making more money. It's about making your whole life better. And that's a very important distinction. So how do you improve your state, right? So hopefully I've explained your state of being, how it is. And now I'm going to help you improve that. I am not a master at this at all. I'm still struggling with it, but it's made a huge difference in my life already. And so I feel if I can master this, there's no stopping me. So hopefully you have a chance to do that as well. Now, the person that I know that does this better than anybody else in the world is Tony Robbins. So I'm gonna have a link to the Tony Robbins videos he has on improving your state. But if you want to start following those videos, it's gonna make a big difference in your life. But you can't just watch him, you gotta apply what he says. In the morning, when I wanna set my day up for success, I'll feed the animals and take the dogs for a walk, and I work on improving my state. I'll work on being grateful for like 10, 15 minutes. And then I'll get my heart rate up. So I'll do some exercises, some light jogging. I can't jog very well or whatever. So I'll do push-ups and jumping jacks and squats and get my heart rate up. And then I'll start doing incantations. And this is probably the biggest and most effective way I know how to do this is with incantations. Now, when you talk to somebody about incantations, they're gonna probably bring up the Saturday Night Live skits where people make fun of it. And I totally understand that. I haven't seen that skit, but people have told me about it. It's Stewart, and he's like, hey, I'm a good person, and gosh darn it, people like me. That's not an incantation. That's an whatever. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you've got to get your body up, and you got to create a good incantation that's going to help you improve your day. I have one in the morning that talks about all my life. Talk about being health, wealth, happiness, and joy. And that's how I start my day each morning. It's fantastic. It's a great way to start the day. So if I'm working with somebody before I go to a meeting, just like before I go to the gym, I get myself pumped up. Before I go to a meeting with someone, I work on getting my state. Before I do a video like this, I work on getting myself in state. Before I make a phone call, it was a couple months ago, I was working on doing agent attraction, trying to invite somebody to work in my company, EXP. And the phone was ringing, they were calling me back, and I did some incantations for the first 3 rings. Picked it up, like, hey Tony, I'm so ready to come to EXP right now. It's great. It's great. I love it. So I'm going to connect the Tony Robbins videos below. If you want to follow that, it's great. If you want to work on it with me, I can share my experiences I had with you. Like I said, I'm still struggling with this, getting better at it, and it's made a huge difference in my life already. So if you want to start doing it, I highly recommend it. And I can share with you what I know, which is about this much. But there's better ways to get better. And if you find somebody else that's really good at this and you want to share that with me, I would love that. That would be fantastic, because I want to learn more. I want to get better at it. I'm learning a certain way now, and it's already brought me great success. So I want to share this with you. So incantations are a great way to get you in a positive state where you can be at your best. And when you're at your best, that's when you're going to be successful. Think about it. You're like, I don't feel like watching that video. I don't feel like taking that course. I don't feel like going out and making those calls to my clients. I don't feel like doing this, right? How many times have you said that? You're in the wrong state, and you are not going to be successful with that attitude. If you can feel like that, you're not going to be successful. So you need to learn to control your state. It is not easy. But like I said, you can have the pain of two regrets. You can have the pain of not doing well, and not getting out of your, you've got the pain, sorry, that was backwards. You got the pain of getting out of your comfort zone and growth. That is not easy, right? I was watching a nature video and I was watching these animals, and there's a lot of pain in these animals, what they have to do. Like the penguins have to jump off the cliff, and there's killer whales out there just waiting to gobble them. And one of the penguins stays with the baby chick for 3 days while the other one goes out and gets food and brings it back. And they've got to go through these killer whales and great white sharks, and it's just crazy. Or, all the animals, every animal had some kind of pain and suffering they had to go to get stronger in order to breed or mate or reproduce or whatever, or just their daily lives, or raising their young, their offspring, the things they had to go through. And it was painful. It was a struggle. But after that, they got stronger. I have the 4 C's video where I talk about that process of growth, where you have the first C is you have your commitment, and then you have the courage, then you develop the capability, then you get the confidence to keep going up higher levels. That's very important to learn that. Getting in the right state is the key to getting all that done. So if you work on getting yourself in state, you're going to be so much more successful. So if you like the video, go ahead, subscribe below. Leave me some comments, please. Let me know if you have any questions or what you want to learn more. And that way we can work together on getting you more sales so you can bring home more commissions. You can bring home more money to your family and loved ones and spend more time doing the things you want to do instead of things you have to do.